Hi there. This is going to be a short video, me kind of explaining to you some of the things about the final project for COMU375. So basically, what the Week 7 project is about is an enhanced and polished version of the original proposal for the imagined or the real company, where you are pitching for uh, creating a system of ethics for that company. So let me go ahead and share screen and just go to the guidelines and go over some of the things because I realize that the rubrics and the guidelines are a little bit confusing for some folks. And this is unintentional by the university. They're trying to explain things a little more than what they should, assuming that this will help students. And sometimes that it has just the reverse effect. So for me, the important thing is for you to demonstrate to me in these papers that you're engaged with the coursework and you have an understanding of ethics, the principles of ethics, theories of ethics in the professional setting of these organizations, whether it's a nonprofit organization or a company such as Kellogg's or Coca-Cola, what have you. Any professional setting, ethics are extremely important. Which sometimes it's contradictory because we witness a lot of the businesses, not only in this country but on a global scale, um, conduct themselves in monopolizing markets and in exerting their social political power in different societies and different market areas and kind of like crossing the line. But that doesn't remove the fact that we must have proper ethics in any professional setting, whether it's a business to make lots of profit and create wealth for many people, or whether it's a nonprofit organization to create educational settings or help with social justice programs or healthcare and so on and so forth. The principles of ethics should be the same. So let me try share screen here and see if we can get to uh, right here. Okay, so I trust everybody can see this. We'll start with the checklist right here for COMU 375 final papers. So very quickly, um, using the checklist can be extremely helpful. So you already know what to do with the cover sheet. The language needs to be professional. I know it says that avoid the I pronouns. I'm okay with the I so long as it's in the context of you presenting yourself as a professional ethicist or someone that understands ethics in business and has other skills, and then you're packaging yourself in this pitch. So the I is okay, but avoid things like isn't that so? Or hello, you all, or and these kinds of things that are vernacular in the colloquial language. So that's the whole point. Avoid colloquial language. Uh, so as far as quotations are concerned, summarize and cite, that's the way you need to do it. And each paragraph needs to have at least one citation, so you demonstrate that this is coming from a reliable source, and it's not just, oh, just my opinion, because that cannot be the case. So chronology is important. I keep that in mind. Uh, so this is a research paper, and it's not just an essay that you're writing. So you're showing facts because at the end of the day, the ethics is about facts and values. So you're packaging your values based on facts and then presenting it to the presumptive company. Of course, you're free to use APA, which is usually in social sciences the preferred mode of citations. But MLA is okay too with the university, and I'm perfectly okay. I'm versed in all of them, and I'm not going to be very nitpicky and saying, "Oh, you missed a comma here and there, and therefore, point deduction." So don't worry about that. So long as your citations are there, I'm good with it. Uh, so here So your original proposal is going to be enhanced, as I said, with the final project. So if you are putting maps and visuals, uh, and it's not mandatory, it's not a requirement for you to have visuals in there. But if you're doing that, uh, make sure to explain what you have in here. Don't just throw it in there, assuming that the reader, in this case me, or presumably the business executive that is looking at this proposal, could just sort of figure it out. So you got to let the reader know, as I say here, that something is coming up and what it is intended to show. So talk about the intentions and the purpose of inclusion of this chart or a picture. Usually, what folks put in here for these proposals is statistics of a study, and then you obviously you cite your sources. Make sure that everything looks right. You don't have any typos grammatically, it's okay. I'm okay if you use ChatGPT to fix your grammar, but don't let ChatGPT write these proposals for you, because it will just come out just in a horrible, organizationally speaking, format, and it'll make it even crazier. So it's best that you do this by using ChatGPT just to help you with the syntax and that sort of thing, if that is your choice. Of course, many people don't even want to bother with that. So let me go ahead and look at this. This is paper number 3, so we don't need to bother with that. Let's look at the final paper guidelines now. So as you recall, the other case studies papers were all like 4 pages, 3 to 4 pages there. And you've gotten your grades on the previous case study. So now you are basically expanding the 4-page papers into a 10 to 12-page paper. So the code of ethics is what you're presenting. So basically, you're combining those papers and creating your pitch to the company that we talked about. A variety of multimedia tools. So, okay. So there is a presentation here. You can click on here and just take a look and see the various tools that are available to you to do multimedia presentation. But the main important thing for me is to see that you kind of understood the theories of ethics in a professional setting, and you're able to pitch to prospective clients. And so the content of what you're writing is the most important thing. You could make it, sexy with a bunch of pictures and things, but if the content is missing, it's just form over content, then it will show. And that's not what I'm looking for. So due dates will not change. Okay, so what's in the proposal is essentially what you're asking. Some of you sent me emails saying, could we just talk about this? And I figured, well, maybe this video can help everybody. It's a formal proposal. So you're basically using this course to get at the closest thing to do in professional settings. Yeah. And some of you may use this material down the line to actually submit proposals, to get jobs, to get gigs, to get contracts with companies that you'd be working with. So if your topic has been approved, which you're watching this video, that means your topic has been approved, so it hasn't been any issues. So you'll get a decent grade. And if you've already gotten a good grade in the previous case study papers, you're in pretty good shape. So don't worry about it. So what I'm saying is that if you just do the work, right, and present yourself knowledgeable about ethics, your grade will take care of itself. Right? So if your proposal happens to be similar to somebody else's proposal, that's not a problem, right? Not a problem at all. They're going to look different. If it's the exact same paper, Obviously, that is a problem. So somebody's copied from somebody else. But I don't anticipate that happening. So let's not worry about that. So you've got to have a title of the paper. Uh, so, don't use bullet points, just go right to it. Start with an introductory sentence. Which is like, you get me into interested. Imagine I'm the CEO of company X, and the first few sentences, I got to be interested. If there's a lean forward approach, right? Imagine, you handed this to me and then you're talking about it and I'm doing this. That means I'm interested, right? So look for that. Uh, and then you have to kind of convince the group, the person who is supposedly reading this, uh, that you are the best person to give them this blueprint for their code of ethics for their company. So in this paper, in this proposal, you talk about your experience and background, why you are the best fit. Imagine you're writing a cover letter for a job interview. And this is, actually very similar to that. Okay. Let me see what else I can talk about. So what's your position when it comes to media ethics, right? Say the company needs to do advertising for its product, right? Depending on which company you're imagining, you're kind of inventing, or an existing company. You think, well, I'm pitching to Disney, or I'm pitching to Coca-Cola, what have you. So how is your philosophy a little different that it might be from somebody else, right? So you have to own your proposal for code of ethics, right? So think about theories of ethics. In most business settings, the consequential ethical theories are helpful. In other words, utilitarian. What is utilitarian ethics? Utilitarian ethics is the type of ethics that produces the greatest good for the greatest majority. How does this work in terms of, say, advertising for a company without, defaming somebody else or the competition, without crossing lines by making somebody else look bad so you can look good? I mean, this is the kind of, distinctions that you can have with your philosophy of ethics. And again, you have to come back and convince me, the reader, why you are the best fit, right? And do not be afraid of tooting your own horn. Of course, you're doing it with the professional language. Keep that in mind, right? Stay away from colloquial language, from slangs. Uh, it may seem like it works in the movies and such, business people getting together and cursing at each other and all that. It doesn't work like that. Even at Wall Street, that happens to be a place full of ethical quagmires. Um, Still, the professional language is king, and it's always effective. Even when people are cursing at each other, they're cursing at each other in professional language. Just like, some politicians, not today's politics, of course, right? Standard classic politics, how they speak with one another. And of course, clarity is important. Um, and that's it, really. So in a nutshell, what should be in the final presentation? Look at everything, what you need to have in there. So if there are any comments that I've given you that, can help you, usually when you're at this stage, you're pretty much, you have the bulk of your work done. It's just, expanding on everything that he said before, and then presenting some research, right? And that's where the facts come in. Facts and values is where, ethics is all about. Okay, and do feel free to use multimedia tools, graphics, photos, and statistic charts, newspapers, clippings, but don't make it like the bulk of your project. All right. So anything beyond 25%, um, so is too much. You could just stay away from it all altogether, or you could just go ahead and do that and include that with your proposal. All right. There's different ways of skinning this cat. Mm, of course, you're always citing your sources. Um, and I don't know what else I can cover here. Um, so let me get out of the share here. So basically, in a nutshell, here's what you're doing. You're going back to the other papers that you've done. What have I done? Just ask yourself, what do I have here that I can bring into the specifically the most important one would be the proposal, right? The 3-page quick, pitch, like the elevator pitch type of thing. How can I bring that into this project and just expand it, right? Bring in some facts to distinguish myself, right? You, as the person that can offer this code of ethics to this company and be the best one, the best fit for the company. All right. It's not as difficult as you might think it is. If you haven't really engaged with the work and just kind of like done the busy work kind of thing to get grades, it could become difficult. But if so far you've kind of done the reading and then you've engaged with the assignments, this should be actually quite smooth, very smooth process where you grab the proposal and you expand it. That's all. And then if you have some graphs, include them in there. If you want to do a separate Prezi or a PowerPoint in addition to the 10-page document, that's fine. You can do that. Like always, if this is still kind of like not as clear as you like it to be, just get in touch with me and I'll see if I can help you out. But keep in mind, your grade will take care of itself. The most important thing is for you to demonstrate to me that you understand ethics in general and ethics in the context of this proposal. That's all. All right. So the little nuances here and there, don't worry about, oh, I'm going to lose 5 points here and 5. That's not how I'm going to grade this. How I look at these projects is holistic. All right. In other words, your paper will demonstrate to me how much you understand this stuff and how much you spend. It's not difficult. It's not, I'm not asking you to write a paper on quantum physics, but it's important. Right? So the right and wrong of things is what you're talking about here. Focus on one area like advertising or marketing, things that are media related or public relations of the company. So if you want to scratch the old proposal and come up with a whole new one and put that in the final paper, that's okay too. But it's more time consuming. So the idea is you build on what you already have. And don't worry about using the I pronoun so long as it's in the professional language context. All right. Okay. So that's all I got for you right now. And I will post this on a YouTube thing and then email it to everybody and then use it as an announcement as well. And hopefully you get to see it. And I hope that this has been helpful.